Here's the problem is that we need to use more natural materials in rubber products like tires. If we don't, all of the synthetic products that we use for tires work very well, but they're harmful for the environment. They're harmful for fish, people, they cause problems. So we need to try to improve and use more natural materials that can be sustained and renewed year by year. So carbon black is something that's made from the oil industry, and what they do is they burn off the fuels and you're left with a black powder, and this powder is almost pure carbon, and it's very useful for tires and the tire industry because it makes rubber stronger. If we did not have carbon black, the tires on your car would only probably last about 6 months, and then they would wear down and decay. But because modern rubber industry has used carbon black and other materials, we can use that to make the tire much stronger. This is important work because we need to be thinking about sustainable solutions to a lot of our problems. Carbon black is something that we use a lot of every year, billions of pounds of it every year, and if we keep relying on oil, and if oil should run out or become much more expensive, we need something sustainable that we can keep growing and use continuously to replace that material. So I work a lot with biochar, which is charcoal that's made from biomass, anything that we grow, plants and trees, crops, things like that. And we found that hardwoods work really well when making biochar. They're the closest we can get naturally to carbon black. They're very high purity, they have a lot of carbon in them, and that's been reasonably successful and allowed us to replace up to about 50% of the carbon black in rubber composites. What I do with biochar is I do lots of different tests to characterize it and to process it to try to get it as close to carbon black as I can, so it makes for a good substitute material. One of the ways that I do that is reducing the particle size. So what we do is we grind it, and we use a ball mill to grind it to a really fine consistency. And one of the things that I developed was a method to use a little bit of silica, which is something that can go in tires naturally anyway, and it makes the grinding process work that much more efficiently, where it gets even smaller to really tiny, fine powder. And we found that that's been a good plus, a good boost to our biochar to make it more effective as a reinforcing filler. While biochar is a fairly good substitute for carbon black, we're not 100% of the way there. We would love to get rid of carbon black completely. So we need to continue improving biochar and looking at other sustainable materials such as rice husks or other natural forms of silica to help us bring to 100% so we can fully replace petroleum in our rubber composite fillers.